European leaders will not move on Greenland. And that has practically moved Donald Trump to tears. Because we saw last night, after a disaster screaming meltdown of a press conference, Donald Trump decided to follow that up with a similar string of Truth Social post, AI-generated images, war plans, text with world leaders, and which he threw a tantrum because NATO has shut down Donald Trump's plot to claim a sovereign nation that he views as a participation trophy. Our petulant child president has been shut down, so he threw a temper tantrum for the ages that we are going to get into. But again, I want to start with that press conference where Donald Trump really began to work up his anger. And it really gave some foreshadowing for the one specific world leader he got angriest at. But it began, as all things do, with Donald Trump, him talking about himself and just flat out lying.
Than China or any other country. Do you have any questions? Well, I think I have a lot of messages for Davos, but the primary message is how well the United States is doing. And I say it all the time. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country, and now we have the hottest country in the world. I mean, you're beneficiaries, too. If you look, some of you have 401ks. You don't have to tell me your numbers are the best they've ever been. And the stock market's at an all-time high. We are just doing great. So I think the message in Davos, we're leaving, going to have an interesting time. We have a lot of meetings scheduled, but the message for Davos is how incredible our country is doing.
Can you speak to your letter that you wrote to Prime Minister saying that the Nobel Prize has influenced your thinking on Greenland?
No, I don't care about the Nobel Prize.
Quite frankly, we are the greatest country there is. We are killing our own citizens in the streets. Prices are going up. No one has a house. And I have all of the crypto dollar. So things are fantastic. Yeah. What in what world did things get better? How have things gotten better? Unless you are a very select few billionaires in the United States of America or have Trump as your last name. So you're rolling in crypto dollars. Are you rolling in the Venezuelan oil money that Donald Trump is now stealing? Or are you rolling in some other grift things have not gotten better for the average American? And Donald Trump knows that. It's why he wants to distract us with any shiny object that he can possibly come up with. It's why he plays this mob boss character where he tries to intimidate his way to popularity, but it's just not working, Donald. It's not landing. And talk about being a mob boss. He has tried to do the same type of twisting of the arm to world leaders in so many different ways. We're going to get into Greenland. But first, I want to start with another thing that made Donald Trump melt down his new peace board that requires you to pay $1 billion to an account that, of course, only he controls. But Emmanuel Macron, who really set Donald Trump off last night and into the morning, said no. And it's the reason why Trump said this before his posting meltdown, which included Macron.
Greenland is very important.
Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the Board of Peace?
Yeah, he's been invited.
Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace?
Oh, did he say that? Well,
Yeah.
Nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months.
Did you invite President Putin to join the...
Yes.
So Donald Trump is publicly saying that if Emmanuel Macron does not give him $1 billion, he's going to tear off French wine. He is saying it out loud. The tariffs are a way for Donald Trump to extract things for Donald Trump, and at the cost of US Donald Trump. If he does not get Greenland, if he is not given his little territory prize, what is he going to do? He is going to impose tariffs on our allies in Europe that we have to pay. Please, the Supreme Court needs to strike this down, because they're here in that case. They're making that decision. But that's what Donald Trump is saying. Of course, Macron doesn't want to join a board in which Donald Trump will decide that Israel can continue its genocide against the Palestinian people. A board that Donald Trump wants to put Putin on. It's insane. And then sanity is what led Donald Trump, as we know, to melt down on Truth Social after his plans were blown up. Leaking text messages is just a mess. Trump post private message from French President Macron to Truth Social. I do not understand what you're doing. Donald Trump posted a private text message from French President Emmanuel Macron to Truth Social on Monday evening, just an hour after he taunted the French president while speaking to reporters. Note from President Emmanuel Macron of France, wrote Trump on Truth Social, and he attached a screenshot of the private message from Macron. The message reads, "My friend, we are totally in line on Syria. We can do great things on Iran. I do not understand what you are doing on Greenland. Let us try to build great things. 1. I can set up a G7 meeting after Davos in Paris on Thursday afternoon. I can invite the Ukrainians, the Danish, the Syrians, and the Russians, and the Margins. Let us have dinner together in Paris together on Thursday before you go back to the US." Emmanuel Macron declined Trump's invitation to join his controversial Board of Peace on Monday, claiming that the world's charter goes beyond the framework of Gaza and raises serious questions, in particular with respect to the principles and structure of the United Nations, which cannot be called into question. This all, of course, also comes as Macron says no amount of intimidation will change EU nations' course on Greenland, saying he won't be blackmailed by the US. Trump, not wanting to shy away from attacking any more allies, decided he would double down, writing on Truth Social again in the middle of the night. Shockingly, our brilliant NATO ally, the United Kingdom, is currently planning to give away the island of Diego Garcia, the site of a vital US military base, and to do so for no reason whatsoever. There is no doubt that China and Russia have noticed the act of total weakness. These are international powers who only recognize strength, which is why the United States of America under my leadership is now, after only 1 year, respected like never before. The UK giving away extremely important land is an act of great stupidity and is another in a very long line of national security reasons why Greenland has to be acquired. Denmark and its European allies have to do the right thing. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Okay, there's just so much to unpack. But can I start by saying the man who falls asleep in Oval Office meetings should not be lecturing us about strength. Speaking of strength, good for Macron. No, we will not be blackmailed. Donald Trump, you are an idiot. That is the correct way to treat him. Like, Mark Carney, I think, has laid out a pretty great playbook. Zelensky as well. You go in there? Sure. You allow Donald Trump to kind of do the ceremonial things that he likes, but on the substance, you shut him down. Mark Carney has done that again, and again, and again. He went to the Oval Office, he looked him in the face and he said, "Canada is not for sale. Let's move along. We're not dealing with the bullshit." And I don't want to say Trump respects that, but he understands it. He is an insecure man who can be put in his place. Why do you think that Sarah Moltoni got over on him so easily, had him a putty in his hands? Because he knows how insecure Donald Trump is susceptible to flattery. Sure, certainly, but you don't just have to give things away. He's also susceptible to strength. He is the real weak one here. And I hope that European leaders are understanding, acknowledging and acting on that. But clearly they are, because they have shut down any of this Greenland discussion. And it is why Donald Trump is just melting down. And there are so many other reasons he is melting down as well that I think were best captured by someone who always describes the dementia of Donald Trump so well. It is Lawrence O'Donnell, who I think can speak better for me this morning than I can, considering this shit has just been so crazy. So I want to hear from Lawrence. I think he gave a perfect breakdown of all that has happened in the past couple of hours.
Mary Trump and her social media reaction to Donald Trump's latest proof that he is unfit to serve as president of the United States. Mary Trump was reacting to Donald Trump's social media post of a message to the Prime Minister of Norway, in which Donald Trump, in what appears to be more evidence of cognitive decline, possibly cognitive collapse, says that because the country of Norway did not give him the Nobel Peace Prize, even though the country of Norway has nothing to do with choosing Nobel Prize winners, Donald Trump is now even more eager to take Greenland away from Denmark, which Donald Trump might not know is actually a different country from Norway. Those are two different countries. Donald Trump's stone-cold ignorance has been a defining characteristic of his entire public life. And so it is possible Donald Trump has never known that Norway and Denmark are two separate countries. Donald Trump might think that Denmark is the capital of Norway, or the other way around, or maybe he once knew they were separate countries, but now his 79-year-old increasingly shattered brain can no longer hold on to facts like that. The Greenland thing is, and always has been, a Trump diversionary tactic. Trump is no more serious about it now than he was the first time he mentioned it over 6 years ago. 6 years from now, Donald Trump will have done nothing. Donald Trump is never going to do anything in Greenland. He's not going to buy the place. He's not going to invade the place. But he is going to talk about Greenland every day that he can, because the American news media cannot resist saturation coverage of such a simple issue. And every bit of coverage of Greenland is not coverage of the Epstein files, as we will be covering tonight. More than 99% of the Epstein files, Donald Trump is now illegally hiding. We will be covering that story tonight. And every news mention of Greenland is not coverage of what Donald Trump's invasion forces did not change in Venezuela, where the regime that was in power before Donald Trump's invasion remains in power tonight. And every moment of coverage of Greenland is not coverage of Donald Trump's invasion forces in Minneapolis and other parts of the country that did not vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump's Treasury Secretary, who is by far the most incompetent Treasury Secretary in history, once again faced Sunday morning questions yesterday that he just could not answer.
If the United States were to take Greenland by force, how would that be different than Russia's annexation of Crimea?
Look, I believe that the Europeans will understand that this is best for Greenland, best for Europe, and best for the United States.
That man is going to spend the rest of his life claiming that he saved us from Donald Trump's worst impulses.
Just a complete disaster. There is no other way to put it. 25th Amendment time. Impeach. Convict, remove. There are no more words left to say except for those. And we will continue on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. Until next time, I'll see you soon.